like the countryside, maybe a little bit in the background here, but I grew up very much in a urban city environment, and when I was 25 years old, so in 2020 to 2021, I had it in my head that moving across the country into a totally different part of the country, culture, different side of the Mason-Dixon line. I had it in my head that would make me happier and solve some of my problems that I thought I had at the time. I think just with my experience that moving far away, sure, it has its pros and cons, but I think it has a lot more cons than pros. I mean, you say you move across the country away from your friends and family, even if you think you don't have that many friends, now you're going to be completely alone. Maybe if you're lucky enough, you have a partner, boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever, wife. That's maybe a little different story, but doing it totally on your own, like I did, it was tough. I was working at this place, at my hometown, and worked there for 6 years and 10 months. Just very complacent, stuck in a rut, if you will. And I needed to change something in my life drastically. And I really felt like I needed to go on an adventure, do something in my mid-20s that wasn't just the status quo. It's not that I was lazy, I just never really had a different perspective other than the place I grew up in and being here, by the way. So I moved there, and I moved back. In 2020, during the pandemic, like, everyone had their own experience with that. For me, it was, at the time, like, the biggest thing on the internet was homesteading in the middle of the woods, building a cabin off the grid, stuff like that. And I didn't move into the woods. I moved into another city. It was just 1,600 miles away from where I grew up. So I went from the New England area down to northwestern Arkansas. So that was kind of the culture shift for me. And I blended in pretty well with the fellow southern folks down there. Everyone was way friendlier. I had a good time while I was there, but it was really a grind the whole time. I wasn't making a whole lot of money, and bills are pretty much the same everywhere you go. Just your rent might be cheaper, or your mortgage might be cheaper, more expensive, but it was a struggle, especially being totally on my own and stuff. You'll have your support network. What are some examples of a support network coming in handy? Say you want to go on vacation and you need someone to look after your pet. Like, I have a pet cat. I couldn't really go on trips for more than a couple of days because I had to feed her, obviously. what if your vehicle breaks down? Hey, mom or dad, can I borrow your car for a couple weeks while I repair mine? You don't have that when you give up your support network. So those are kind of the bad things. The good things is you learn a lot about yourself and what you're really made of. Especially if you do it how I did it, with no money. I never had more than $1,500 in my savings account or in my checking account at any given moment, just because I had to spend it all on bills every month and making $20 an hour. It's tough. So if you have a lot of money in the bank, it's easier, I'm sure. Maybe a little more comfortable, but it's one of my coworkers. It's weird. Yeah, it was a good experience for me, because like I said, I was stuck in a complacent rut. I didn't know what to do with myself, and yeah, it was a good way for me to break out and become more motivated than I was before. I worked a lot while I was down there by myself. I started running because it was like a cheap thing to do. I was like, I need to figure out how to like improve my well-being mentally and physically. So I started doing that, and I still do that. I enjoy it, but I was just trying to pass the time. I was really, after like 2 months, I'm like, wow, I really messed up my life by doing this. Now I'm stuck here for a year. So yeah, I think you know real quick if you're, some people, one of my cousins moved to Denver, and it was a grind for him, for sure. For like 3 years, he was doing what I did for 3 years. I only lasted 1 year, and I said, I'm out of here, but you try it out, and some people like it. I particularly didn't, and I valued my friends and family I have back home here much higher now, and I think that's more important than, to me at least, than living somewhere that's cheaper. That was another reason I moved. There's 2 reasons I moved. One, it's cheaper down there, sure. 2, I also have a friend group that lives in Missouri, and another close friend that lives in Oklahoma. So I was able to visit those guys, which was great, but it really didn't solve any of my problems. It kind of made them worse for a while, and then I guess I became a little stronger afterwards because of that. Kind of survival mode for 12 months, like a straight year of working 6 days a week, any overtime I could get. I didn't try and meet anyone new. I just had my coworkers, and like that was it. Just had my coworkers to talk to. I had Christmas dinner with a coworker of mine, invited me over. That was pretty cool. But as an adult, it's hard to meet new people unless you join like a club or something. It's just not it's hard. It's not like high school or college where you're put into these social situations. Like, you have to put yourself into a situation that other people have put themselves in a way you can make connections. But I already knew I was going to be moving home, so I didn't bother with that. So the social aspect of it was pretty rough. I mean, I enjoyed my coworkers for the most part. I had the place I worked at before. It was just like my boss's wife. So I learned, my social skills improved drastically by doing this. Also by attempting to make a video like this. I talk to myself in the car all the time just to practice like public speaking and stuff. But anyway, yeah, the moving across country, I mean, would I recommend it? Sure. Would I do it again? No. But did I grow a lot from it and learn a lot from it? Absolutely. I don't think I'd be where I'm at today, confidence-wise or motivationally, if it wasn't for, you know, taking a risk once in my life instead of just sticking to the status quo. So that's kind of my take on, yeah, moving far away. Far away being more than like an 8-hour drive. Like if you're within that radius of your home, you can visit sometimes easier without flying. But I was 24 hours away, so quite a bit further. But yeah, that's kind of my take on that. So it's pros and cons. It's a struggle. It's not easy. I think a lot of these like YouTube channels and stuff really kind of romanticize it, living in the woods, living off the grid, and it's tough, man. It's tough.